Hi. Hello, everyone. I found this and I really liked it. I don't even know why this came up. Because I logged into YouTube here. I mean, I literally logged in because I had deleted all of my browser history and the cookies and everything, like I like to do every few months. And for some reason, this just came up when I logged in. I don't know why, honestly. But if you like, I was gonna say if you like Chrono Trigger, this is gonna be nice. I guess it's Chrono Cross. I'm very familiar with this music because Chrono Trigger is one of the best games ever created. It's probably the second best game ever created. Chrono Cross is not as good as Chrono Trigger. Okay, it's not, but some people love it. I played it. I like it. Anyway, if you like Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, we're gonna get in the chest. Don't worry. I don't know why. This just came up. Then it's gonna fade away. I don't know. In the beginning, I had the mic on, and I'm not using headphones, so there might have been an echo in the beginning. I don't think it's too bad, but there might have been one. Anyway, this was nice. They're doing some Final Fantasy stuff. So what they've done is they've okay, Nest sound format. I'm used to Fami Tracker, exactly. They used Fami Tracker, I guess. I'm pretty familiar with that. I use it. I love it. So a way to make Nintendo music. So they've made Nintendo music, basically, but from a PlayStation game. So I love it. Anyway, let's get into the chess. And da-dee-dee-da-dee-da. I made a new chess.com account. UV Wizard. UV_Wizard. That is my name here, yeah? Where does it... Oh, profile. There it is. I haven't played a single game. Anyway, yeah, the other account, I think I log in through my Facebook or something. That just isn't, I don't want to do that, so made the new account. And, okay, so we got the modern variation. We got this tournament, and then there's going to be another one right after it for an hour. And we're dealing with the modern variation. So, it starts, it should start, wait, what? Are we starting here? I don't think we were starting there. Starting like this, huh? Whatever. I don't know why it wasn't showing me the whole game there, but it starts like this. And so we got the Scandinavian. So I'll just go over it a bit. I'm trying that out lately, like starting by going over the theory a bit before we hop into the tournament. I mean, I prepared a bit. Now, I prepared, but I made a mistake. I thought it was going to be all of the Scandinavian. I thought this was the starting position, but it's a particular variation. Now, I did study this variation to give like the top level view. So, white plays e4. D5 puts us in the Scandinavian. Now, white cannot, at this point, decide they want to play something different. They're stuck. It's a Scandinavian now. Now, there's some weird sidelines here. Now, this is a sideline that I kind of like. It's sort of trappy. It's weird. It's, if your opponent is well prepared for it, I'm sure it's not going to go well, or like at a very high level, this is not a good move. It's a gambit, and let's actually look at some of the theory here. So we have, turn on this thing. So knight, let's actually, you know what, let's do something I don't normally do. Let's like just look at the more lower level and take out some of these. Okay, and so a knight f3 is still not doing well. Okay, but I think a lot of people who play this just like blitzed out the thing without really thinking. And you know, I mean, it doesn't look good. It's called the Tennyson Gambit, and so here now we see we're getting a slight edge with white here. It's a little tricky to defend. So I'm borrowing here from Igor Smirnov, Grandmaster. He has some videos, but you know, black wants to defend this pawn. Now the computer's saying forget about the pawn, just develop. And you can see that's only 4% is following that. Because okay, so let's say we want to hold on to this pawn. Well, either bishop here, knight here. And when you do that, well, if you do one of them, you're going to do the other one next. So it doesn't really matter. So we do this one. We put another piece attacking this pawn. If they want to hold on to it further, okay, bishop f5. 48% of people playing bishop f5. So they're trying to hold on to this pawn. Now, you could play d3. That's what the computer is saying. The line recommended by Igor is bishop c4 here, and you can see it's doing better in the database. So there's an early queen e2. I don't know. I don't actually know what that's about so much. Maybe you're just simply picking up the pawn. So you could go for that. But I haven't really studied this line. Recommended by Igor, Grandmaster Igor. You go here, and there's a lot of pressure building up here. So how are they going to stop this threat? I mean, they don't want to move their bishop back because they move their bishop to protect the pawn. So, you know, this seems reasonable. Now you play d3. Okay, e takes. And here you go, queen f3. And look at that, 67%. Ding, ding, ding. So you can see, like, if we go back, sometimes these sidelines, the database... Well, of course, I'm not using the master's database, right? But, you know, this doesn't look attractive in the database, d3. But after takes, which is 74%, Then boom, queen f3 here. And now there's a clever sort of thinly veiled threat here, which I believe is here because, oh, you know what, it takes here. So let's suppose they play knight c6. Yeah, we hit him with knight takes f7. And typically 88% of the time, look at that, 71%. This is Tennyson Gambit, so. And this is the thing, because of the pin here. So we've got a lot of pressure. Positionally, this is strong for white, and we are up a point. Are we? No, black is up a point, but you can see that this is doing well. 70% of these games are wins for white. There's a lot of pressure. We can get castled. Igor Smirnov has a video on this if you're interested. The Remote Chess Academy YouTube channel, okay? But anyway, so that's the idea behind this sideline. Or there are, you know, maybe other ideas in there. This Tennyson Gambit. So there are videos on YouTube about Tennyson Gambit. You can see it here. It's sort of interesting. Jokingly named the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile variant. Okay, I don't know about this variant, this specific line, but okay, so that's a sideline. This is a sideline. I don't think I like it. Yeah, d4 is good here. If they play like this, you want to do d4. If we look at the Masters database, you know, this is good for black. Kick the knight. Best thing for them to is yeah, knight c2. I haven't looked much at that. I don't. It doesn't seem appealing to me. Okay, so you can see at the master level, this knight f3 has been played 16 times, and it's kind of getting crushed. Because at a high level, once you know what to do against the Tennyson Gambit, then, well, once you know what to do against it, it's not much of a threat. Maybe in a bullet game if you're really familiar with it or something. Anyway, let's go back to this position and turn off all these arrows and everything. So this is the starting position. Those are some sidelines. There's probably more sidelines, but really at a high level, you know, 97% is takes. This is really the only move. If white wants to keep its advantage, if white wants to keep their advantage, we want to take here. And this is where it branches out. There's really 4 main branchings. Okay, 3 of them have to happen after queen takes, and then there's the knight here, which is the modern variation, which is what we're going to look at today. I don't know how much I should talk about this, but after, so if queen takes, now you don't have to play this. There's other things, and this might even be better. Actually, hanging pawns, you know, recommends going here because you have the flexibility of, or I think maybe they're doing d4 first. I forget exactly, but no, I think knight f3 first, and d4 comes later. But the idea here is if you play this immediate, you know, gaining tempo on the queen, then the knight is blocking the c pawn, which is happening a lot in the Scandinavian here for white. And so hanging pawns recommends, what's his name? Stepan. He recommends that he likes this line because, yeah, you have the option to play this instead, and he kind of likes the idea of playing these pawns forward, having the pawn on c4. Okay. Now, whether we play this immediately or later, this queen is going to go somewhere. It's not going to chill there in that square for the rest of the game, right? And the queen has these 3 options, typically. So we've got queen a5, queen d6, queen d8. After that, queen e5 check, you know, not doing is 1% of games. Everything else is like 1% or less. What there's 123 games that do other things. Not a lot. I don't know too much. This is definitely sideline. I haven't really studied it. We can just block. And we're, you know, nicely ahead in development. And later, this is coming So black is really letting us... I mean, already with a Scandinavian, black is saying... I mean, look, we're developing this with tempo. We're getting extra tempo for our development. So that's kind of a concession. One of black's concessions with the Scandinavian. Alright, so it branches off into these three, and then earlier we talked about the modern. Those are the four main branches, and there's a lot of detail. If you want a lot of detail, you know, the Hanging Pawns video series is there. Remote Chess Academy, Igor Smirnov, he has a lot of videos on the Scandinavian, you know, Gotham chess. There's one from the St. Louis Chess Club with Jonathan Krantz, is that his name? No, there's a lot. It's a major opening. So do I want to say more about it? I mean, the idea here, a lot of times, forget about the order for a second. A lot of times, this bishop will come here, and this pawn is there, allowing for this spot as an escape square for the black queen. But sometimes the black queen ends up going all the way back to d8 in certain lines, and so if you're a Scandinavian player and you play this a lot, and then eventually you find that you're often getting the queen back to d8 in a lot of lines, then you might as well just skip all the, you know, the extra moves and just go straight back to d8. So it seems counterintuitive and a little silly, but queen d8 here, we got a game of chess after that, okay? So it's one of the openings. Now apparently this line, the d6 line, is relatively new in the 2000s. And it's sort of the sharper line where there's theory to memorize. And so, yeah, I mean, the Scandinavian is sort of viewed as something where you don't have to memorize a lot of theory. It's sort of, it's an opening where you need to know the ideas of the opening more than memorizing a bunch of variations. I mean, I'm not well educated enough on this to comment too much on. I mean, something that happens a lot is, for example, if we did knight f3 here, bishop g4 is going to happen a lot more at the lower level. So you can see at a high level this is not favored, but if I go to Lichess, I think, yeah, 24%. And for me, playing the white pieces, when I play against the Scandinavian, this was the thing. I sort of thought this was the point. Like, you get this kind of nice pin when the knight comes out. You can kind of wait for this knight to come out and then pin it. Except that, actually, you want to develop... There's a few reasons why, at a higher level, they go to f5 instead. One of them is white understands this pin. They might delay the knight coming out and instead get their bishop out, play here, maybe develop this bishop, and develop this knight later. And black would like to get this bishop out right away because they want to maybe... You know, generally the pawn structure is going to be like this on these squares, sort of a caro-kann type of pawn structure. And because black wants to play this pawn move at some point to allow this bishop out, well, it doesn't want to block in the... Black doesn't want to block in the bishop, so they get it out earlier. Okay, now the thing about the bishop being here, in some lines... Now, I'm not showing you the exact lines, but... I mean, actually, yeah, it is right here. Let's go back to the masters. So h3 is the main move. And so you can take... Magnus Carlsen has done this. I think I don't know if it was Blitz. Let's see. I don't see Carlsen here, so it's probably Blitz that he does that. But you can move back and see here, g4, moving back, and normally d4 is played sometime earlier, and we have this knight e4. So let's go back a little bit. So suppose queen a5, top move, d4. Let's play d4 first. Knight f6. Now we go knight f3. These are all the the most common moves. Even was queen a5. Sorry. Knight c3, queen a5, yeah. These are all the top most played moves at the master level. d4, knight f6, knight f3, and here is where I'm saying, so there's c6. Again, the idea, you want to get the queen, we want to have a nice square for the queen to come back to at some point. So you're going to do that sooner or later anyway. But the next two popular moves are bishop f5, bishop g4. So, and bishop f5 is favored. You can see white is scoring much better with bishop g4, and is considerably less popular. And so 90% play h3, 73% move back, 87% g4, bishop g6, and knight e5. This is the line that black should probably be afraid of. Good square for the knight, and I believe that the idea is just to trade off the bishop so that black loses the bishop pair and the pawns get screwed up. But let's see here, e6. Not taking yet, but this is a strong knight. And actually, I haven't analyzed this position any further. I just have learned that this is good. And in the past, I've struggled with this pin, and I didn't think that pushing this was a good idea. But since I've studied more the Scandinavian now, I know that this is the way to go for white here. And okay, so 49% to 20% in terms of the win ratio there. And so for that reason, so that's sort of the professional way. If you watch Gotham Chess's video, he says this is the way the pros play. So probably your opponent's not going to play like that. So he does actually recommend this, I think. Just saying, you know, if your opponent plays this, he's pro or something, or he's watched this video. That's what he says. So anyway, based on what I've said, more likely bishop to f5. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff to look into there. And so I said that the queen comes back here because in some lines the queen ends up all the way back here anyway. Okay. I'm kind of interested in this line for black a little bit, just because I think that your opponents will possibly stop taking you seriously at this point. So a lot of people have reported that when they first saw the Scandinavian Defence, they thought it was a silly gambit or just sort of a joke opening or something not really serious. Now, I don't think it's played at the tip-top level, but it is played, for example, in top-level Blitz games, I'm pretty sure. You know, Magnus Carlsen has played it, at least in Blitz. And, okay, and so they're already thinking, well, so, you know, at a more of an intermediate level, people know this opening. But below intermediate level, some people, if they're fairly new to chess, they might just be very suspicious of this opening and think it's a silly joke and kind of underestimate you. And if we do something like this and they just go back, a lot of your opponents are going to think they're not going to be taking you seriously at this point. And I think it's a psychological tool because, one, them not taking you seriously is great, but two, they will be looking to punish you, right? And so they may go a little bit overboard trying to punish you, basically. So let's see the main line a bit. d4, knight f6, knight f3, bishop g4 now. So in this line you can pin h3, and takes here is preferred. Queen takes, c6, bishop e3, e6. So there's that pawn structure I was talking about. Caro-kann style, sort of like a semi-Slav or London. Let's just, so I mean it splits up a bit, but bishop, let's see a few more moves. Yeah, I mean this square is blocked, so typically the knight comes here, and in some games I've seen bishop is here, queen is here. That might be a different line because here we've put the queen on d8, but It depends on things, I guess. But anyway, I don't know how deep we want to go. But there's the bishop there. And it's sort of hard. It's hard to penetrate all of this structure, all of black's structure. So, for example, this is basically like a Maroczy bind kind of thing. It's hard to get this d-pawn forward. And but white would probably like... I mean, that's the main pawn break that you can see here. Possibly in some lines there might be an f4, f5 pawn break. But it's a bit hard to penetrate this structure. And that's in pretty much all of the Scandinavian defense main lines. And yeah, and then let's look briefly at this. And there's also, so knight f3 is sort of an attempt to avoid a lot of the main theory. Now I haven't really studied it much, so I don't know. And I think for my level, a lot of this is just going to transpose. They're going to play this later. I'll move my queen, whatever. It's probably going to transpose to stuff. Okay, so but suppose here, and then another major branch is here. And so this is named after, this one has a name, Gubinsky-Meltz defense. And the individual who popularized this wrote a book about it in, I think, 2001, and they said that at the time there's not much theory here for this line, and sort of advocated it, and now it is this and moving the queen back here are more popular, and also the modern variation, which we're going to talk about at the end here, is more popular. So and so this is where you actually need more theory, is what I've learned from my studies. This is where you might, if you want to play it at a higher level, you need to memorize actual lines. And I'm not going to go into everything here. We'll probably see it in the... Oh, we won't see it in the tournament because we're doing the modern variation, which is takes and then knight f6. So this is one of the other major branches, and that is the theme of the tournaments tonight. And so there are three major moves here advocated by hanging pawns. He didn't... I don't recall him talking about knight f3. He did, maybe. But in any case, I mean, c4 tries to hold on to the pawn, but you cannot guarantee that you're going to hang on to a pawn, or your pawn advantage here. So, and there's a way to transpose, in one of these lines there's a way to transpose into the Panov-Botvinnik. Or there's a yeah, the caro-kann Panov-Botvinnik variation. Let's see where that was. It said after black has two main options, c6. Should not capture the pawn, but instead play d4. Yeah, so this can Panov transfer. This is now caro-kann. We've transposed into the caro-kann, actually. And I've been playing the Panov-Botvinnik lately, and I actually kind of agree. I'm not so impressed with it. But maybe I don't know it well enough. But that's what they were saying here in the analysis on the left here. They were saying it's not really favored anymore. And yeah, I didn't like it so much. So I'm doing, against caro-kann, I'm doing the advance variation now. But okay, c4 tries to hold on to the pawn. But having analyzed and researched, I like d4 more. And well, the database says that d4 is doing better. I don't know about the knight f3 move, but d4. And we actually get like an Alekhine sort of structure, or at least reminiscent of Alekhine. And you can play c4 right away, or you can play knight f3. There's a lot of different variations. c4 is popular here, and so knight goes here, and we get, this is reminiscent of the Alekhine, with some differences. So that's probably what we're going to be seeing, what I'm going to be trying to do in the tournament. Catch the end of this tournament and then move on to the next one. Yeah, so I'm not an expert, but I did a bunch of hours of preparation today and thought I'd share. Partly it's for me too, to come back to sort of my notes. Okay. Whoa. I joined the wrong tournament. Well, we can do the Scandinavian. I joined the wrong tournament. And we can play the modern variation. Alright. Okay. Okay. So what was... I'll try to remember the lines. I was thinking of it more for white. But we can take here. Yeah, that's the main move. Then this or this, typically. But we have, yeah, this is reminiscent of the Alekhine. I like the idea of fianchettoing the bishop. Now if takes, they have tempo, but I'm okay with it. Also, they've blocked their own pawn. I have ideas of maybe a c5 at some point. This guy's name is Chess Gay Orgy. Interesting. Do we want to do this? They've blocked their own square for the knight. This might be a little dubious after takes. And it's getting hit twice. Let's get the bishop out. Huh. They lost tempo with their bishop. Do I want to go here? Let's go here. We're preparing these kinds of ideas. I kind of like their weird pawn structure after this, if they take. What else can we do? So, fortunately, I can't move back here. I don't want to give up the bishop pair easily. I'm threatening to win a pawn. Takes. Though they have some kind of discovery attack, but I'm not sure that I'm scared about it. So they protect their pawn further. However, do I have ideas of kicking the knight somehow, or preparing it? Thinking of harassing the knight here. It doesn't have escape squares. They're going after the bishop because here. Do I want to do this? No, they can sack and cause all kinds of chaos on my king's side, and then take here, and we'll be roughly even in material, but. Okay, I'm allowing this or takes. Now I have ideas of sacking and then doing this, except that if they take, then they have this escape square. So we got to do this first, but then they take with tempo on the knight. It's not good. So I may have fouled this thing up. However, let me go like this. And then here. And if I were them, I would sack. That doesn't fix the problem, though, does it? So I wouldn't... I don't know. I think they're losing a knight. But I just sacrificed, so... Oh, no, they have this... Now they have this square. Do they always have that? No, because of my bishop. I've given up the bishop, so they have that square now. Oops. I could simply take this pawn. Let's do... no, I can't. Bishop's protecting it. Not going well, you know. Not going well. So I'm pretty new to this variation, by the way. So, just trying to learn. I think some of these positions can be pretty complicated. We have ideas of kicking the knight and then taking the other knight. Weird. Oh, they take back with the knight. Still think that's weird. So I don't want to give up this bishop in any line. There's no increments, so I gotta move a little faster. Gotta move a little faster. They take... It's not a good move. But I just want to simplify things a little bit. Now, of course, they're probably going to play here, but I think I maybe have some ideas. Opening up the king side, their king side. They have twice as much time as me. Oh, I'm winning the queen. I just realized. Thank you for activating my rook on a8 if you take. falling apart for my opponent. I will say that very clearly. Beep beep doo 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 doo. Beep 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 beep. Beep beep doo beep beep doo 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 doo. I actually checkmated at the end. Nice. There's a checkmate. That was actually a, was it a queen sack? Checkmate? That's a beauty. That's a beauty, isn't it? And this was kind of clever tactics at the end there by my opponent, if it didn't open up for checkmate. Okay, let's go to the correct tournament this time. Yeah, although we did get a nice little Scandinavian, a little Scandi. That was nice. Modern variation as well. Nice thing about the Scandinavian is that
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Nice thing about the Scandinavian, once black plays it, white is stuck in a Scandinavian. We did see there's a case where there are transpositions. There's a transposition to a caro-kann, Panov Botvinnik variation. And there's one line where you get if you're black, you can get an improved French defense. Although white should not allow that. So it doesn't transpose as much as most openings do. I've played with this guy 4 times. Do we want to do some shenanigans? I don't think so. Or do we want to... No. I do, because I'm actually threatening here with Temple and the Queen. It's been attacked twice. They have to go here, I think. But I can still do something like this. I think I'm playing a little risky here. But I like it. Ooh, they're threatening a checkmate. Almost checkmate. Very dangerous. Dangerous of my opponent. Alright, I'll take the concession. It's a bit of a concession. Because I wanted this bishop to develop somewhere, yeah? We're actually threatening to fork and win a rook. But now we can do it anyway. Unless, I guess here, but it's a little wonky. I think it might be doable for them. You know, blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah doesn't work. Well, I was thinking of interposing this, and then... and then we don't have this at the end. When the smoke clears. So instead we might just do something simple like eat pawns. Pawns are not meant to be not eaten. Right? I want to verify my logic here. That. Actually, first here. That's take, and then take, and then beep beep doo doo dee dee doo dee doo doo. Yep. Does my queen come out somewhere? Now that this knight is protected. Does it? Schmuzz it. Or do I just take... So many ideas. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. We go like this. Takes, but they want to take here, but I'm threatening the fork. And I just took a piece. I gotta move a little faster. I do have an increment, but still. I overestimate my abilities in time trouble sometimes. Still, if I have a strong advantage, I can usually play more than a move every 2 seconds. But, so I mean, it's kind of looking good here, to be honest, but when they have 2 knights, though, honestly, it can be a bit tricky still if you're in time trouble. But I like the threats we've got going on here. They gave up the rook. We will... Can I castle still? I cannot. I cannot castle. They are threatening same thing to me. And we'll just go here. Looking at this pawn. Need to continue with the development. We protect. We attacketh and we protecteth. Good for me. I'm +8. Bruh. Bruh. You want to take my thing? I mean, I'm not worried. Probably just here and here, just because this square is hard to attack for these 2 pieces. Really hard for the bishop to attack this square, I think. Just want to get that other rook out, and I don't even mind giving up the exchange and all that jazz. No problem. Okay, you're looking at the square. Bravo. You might only be down 7 points. And actually, you're eyeing the bishop. But I have, I don't know. It's happy days. It's happy days for UV Wizards in Chessland today. Eventually, if we can, we want to go here, but the knight is stopping, but we can kick it, etc., etc. Etc., etc. This becomes weak, they can target it, we protect it. Whatever knight goes on the corner of the board, whatever, it's a whatever sandwich. This is really hard for them to attack. 3 squares away, blah, 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 when the knight's on the edge of the board. Take with check. Looking real tight for the king. What else? Do I want to go here? Do I go here? They're in trouble. Cannot go here with the rook. What can they do? Bummer sausage. Alright. We will analyze this. Knight takes d5. Yes, yes, yes. Only other move worth considering seems to be bishop g4. We'll probably run into it with the white pieces, and we'll have a taste of what that... We'll have a sample of what that tastes like, you know? c4. I like c4. Knight f3. Yeah, I prefer knight b6, and it scores better for black. And then, yeah, I think this was a little... Well, it has been played. Struck me as a little, maybe overextending. What's the computer say? Computer isn't too fond of that move. Prefers knight f3. What does the computer think of knight c3? Definitely prefers knight f3. Okay. But we ran into c5. Not too common. Let's look at the Lichess database and let's change the settings to something a little better. We'll include blitz. c5. Not too common. 4%. Anyway, we ran into it. And, yeah, knight d5. Now let's go back to masters. I don't want to go too deep into this variation. Oh, computer likes my move. Computer likes my moves. Computer even liked this for a second. I mean, I played pretty solid here. Yeah, I'm finding the computer moves, baby. Nice. What am I going to do with white pieces? Is this a starting position? I'm confused. Everything's starting here. It had the wrong image. I had the wrong thing set. Starting position. So we start here. After d4. d4 has already been played. Okay. Well, I was planning on playing d4 with white anyway. That was my main favorite. Yay. Rar. As Ben Feingold would say. Rar. We run into this, we run into this. Here, we go here. Here, 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 or these moves. Should I pin the knight? Let's pin the knight. If they were 2000 rated, I would think a little more. Because, you know, we gotta think about this kind of stuff. But, for now, now if takes, the queen is actually well enough situated on this square. I think this is possibly a threat now. But do I want to throw in this first, maybe? Is this a threat? This is a threat. I'm gonna dive into it. It's messing up the pawn structure. I love to mess up the pawn structure. Just need to get castled, complete our development. They do have the bishop pair, but I think they would be wise to focus on development, where they want their king and their rooks. Do I dare? I think it's dangerous to castle in there. It's also kind of dangerous to castle over here as well. Here at least we have some tempo, but is it worth it? We could come here after the rook comes here. They can't defend the pawn, can they? They might win a pawn, so let's do this way. I expect here and then here. That's weird. They didn't see the threat. Now without the bishop pair, I'm much better, and I'm a pawn up. This pawn structure is redonkulous. I would love to trade. I'm so happy about that. Okay. You know, good luck defending that pawn. In fact, let's throw the pressure down a little bit. King's stuck, protecting, and try to get the king out. I have a pawn majority here. I've got to play to that advantage. Another idea is getting my bishop here somehow. Bishop here is a little bit of an annoying thing for them. But I guess they're pushing over here, huh? And also, if this pawn gets stuck there, like if I go here, it's a target for my bishop. It's going to be hard for him to protect all these pawns, especially on dark squares. So, because it has a light square bishop, he needs to be a little bit more worried about these dark squares. It should be completely winning for me. Should be, unless I blunder. Okay, King D3 is played. I think they're hoping to come in. They're worried about their pawn now. This is going to be a problem for them. Do they just go back? Maybe take the time to push some of these pawns while they can't. Everything's kind of stuck if they... Oh. Okay. But everything's kind of stuck. The king is stuck defending all this stuff. Now, I was a little reluctant to do this because it kind of gets rid of one of their weaknesses here. It's actually... I want to really capitalize on the situation as much as possible. Do they have... So, let's see what happens after this. They have some kind of zugzwang. Ideas here. And then... It's not a zugzwang. They have their bishop. They can just shuffle around. I might even have ideas of here. And then takes. So I realize the king is stuck defending that pawn. So we go here. Just trying to be a huge jerk. Trying to be sort of surgical. If here, I win that pawn. They saw it, maybe. This is bad. Against the light square bishop. All my pawns are on light squares. Still, it's actually blocking their bishop. So, am I ready to move forward with the king? That's where I needed the king to go? I'm not sure. Whatever, we don't need to fiddle too much. Actually, I want my king there, maybe? But we're preparing here? Going this way, because we want to queen on this square, not here. Very important. Based on the color of the bishops. Okay, now I can relax. They can't hurt me at all. Yeah, we just push this pawn now. GG, son. GG. They're hoping for a draw. But with the bishop... So like here would be a draw, actually. Kind of annoying. Let's get the bishop out of the way. Actually, let's get the bishop like really out of the way and just... just... queen the pawn. Not overthink. GG, yo. It's all kind of standard. I'm not sure about this bishop move. I think it's probably okay. Second most popular in the Masters database. There's also g6, Fianchettoing. I'm okay with bishop g4. Low win rate for black here. h3 probably wasn't the best. Computer in the database is saying c5. You gotta go c5 or bishop e2. Let's just see a little bit what typically plays out here. And lead chess database. If I go through this a bit. c5. So, but it can be misleading here because this c5 move could indicate that white here typically is familiar with the theory. Whereas in the Masters database, you'd expect both sides to be familiar with the theory. At least this early in the game. So c5, yeah, could be sort of a signal of being familiar with theory. But in the Masters database, it's going well, so c5 there. Probably get that with the white pieces at some point. Here or here. Let's do this. We can do c4 later. After the... Oh, still do c4. I think that's suspect. But actually, queen here is a good, probably good. They don't want to just give me extra tempo like they're doing. Very solid right here. Get castled. So what's the plan? What's the plan? I'm not used to playing... I don't play these sort of positions much with the like 2 pawns there. What is the plan? I think go for here and probably f4. This is sort of making it harder to develop this bishop nicely. Although that pawn was probably going to be stuck there anyway. Is this okay? Not sure. Okay with this. Developing with tempo. It's not with tempo, but it's like a tempo game. And, yeah. So I think bishop here just makes it a little annoying. They should probably play this. Can maybe go here. But again, they just go here and then my knight is misplaced. I think that's all. What about knight, rook here? This knight doesn't have a square to go to. Do I have ideas here, maybe? Sort of a threat. Possibly ideas here, but I'm thinking maybe the rook here. They open the square for the knight. So let's back up. We want a reinforcement on the rook after they move. So the end goal here is probably just have a rook on this file here, probably here. Because, well, what are they going to do? Threatening this. Am I? Yeah, threatening this. I'd take with bishop to keep the threat going. Now here, this would be a blunder. They take. Well, I could take here and then takes. But then my knight would be... I think it's bad. Yeah, I just was saying that that's maybe a blunder. But after here, I'm not sure. Not sure that I really have anything going on, to be honest. I think, also this is hanging. We just go here. That's what I originally said. It's about getting the rook here. It's a nice square for the knight, but they gotta be careful. Do I have ideas? Unfortunately, I only have a light squared bishop. I'd probably prefer a knight here, so that we can target squares of any color. They can probably fight well enough against this bishop, being stuck on one color. I don't know, I gotta just move a little faster. I don't know why they brought their knight back, because it's not... They want to move it back again. This would be a good move now. They're protecting here. Okay, that's why. And they didn't want to be stuck on the light squares. Okay, hold on. The rook is going to come out to play. Don't think I can stop it, really. I can come here with the rook. Does it do anything? I don't know. I like this sort of blockade I'm doing on them. They go there. Just come here. Oh, they're eyeing this square. That's it. If I had more time to think, I would have seen it, but... Unfortunately, I'm losing another pawn. We have ideas of takes. Actually, is there a discovered attack? This is not good. Just taking a little too much time today. I should have traded off, I think. Yeah, this is losing. Very losing for me. Give up. Let's see where it went wrong. Obviously, just running out of time, I think, was probably the main thing. What's the computer say here? This is not a master's level move here. This bishop b4 check. Knight b d2, bishop d2, bishop takes, queen takes is, well, the computer, never mind. Queen takes is better. Okay, noted. This is a better square for the knight in these positions, I guess. I played bishop e2. Seems like a reasonable move. Castles or knight c6. And knight b3 was played. Are we still in master's territory? No. We're not. And this has been played 166 times or something. Queen c2 is the move here, I think. Or, well, I played the knight there. That was what the computer likes. Not scoring well for black for some reason. But it's not a lot of games. 7 games here. Only 7 games. Because usually they're playing this. I don't like this. Lost a few points. And this is not... Yeah, it's not a big deal for black at this stage in the game, I think. So So this has been played in one game with people rated over 2100, so I don't think it's that bad. That was kind of a mistake by my opponent. I have the advantage for a while. Let's do learn from your mistakes or whatever, huh? So I played rook takes f8. That was played. And I'm up 4 points here. Or, according to the computer. Is there some tactic? What would be a better move? Just moving the knight somewhere. No. Solution here. Ah, threatening to go here, and after moves away, we take the rook. I think that's the threat. And if they take here, they get into checkmate, so they have to... So just a fantastic square for the knight, so... Note to self, in this pawn structure, here and here are, especially here, that's a good square for the knight right there. Yeah, okay. Next. I've played b4 here. Better solution, better move for white. Anyway, next. So right, the threat was here. So just stopping that. They go here. We can take. They take with check, but no? Don't want to protect this. Okay. This was played. So I'm still +5 here. Right. And I thought, when I did that, I thought I should have taken this first. So, takes probably. Right. Just get rid of the knight, and because we're going to pass, we're going to queen the pawn. Very simple. Yeah, I knew as soon as I did it, it's a mistake. Now here, so it's still even here. Interesting. I thought it was lost. King d4 is played. Problem was the fork. So actually here, I mean, these positions that attack my king are protected by the bishop here. So structure is kind of good to remember because you're protected by the bishop. Getting all cozy with your bishop, like it's a knight or something. And those were my mistakes. Okay, resume. They might have had ideas of this, but not anymore, I don't think. I might have ideas of doing this myself. Nice square for the bishop if they take. Why would they resign? They're just here for studying the opening theory. Let's see where we're at in the book. No masters here. What happened? So, knight f3 is the main move. I played the second most popular, bishop g4. Bishop e2 is most popular. They played it. I played e6, most popular. h3, second most popular. Bishop h5, most popular. Castles, most popular. They could have played c4 here as well. Out of 8 games, 0 losses for white there. And I played this weird move, not in the Masters database. Lost, what do you say? Do you say, well, I lost 30 centipoints? Do you say that? Losing 30 centipoints, but in the Lee chess database, it doesn't make too much difference. So c4, most popular move, computer recommended, highest scoring for white. It's a good move. I go, yeah, knight to b6. I could go knight f3, f6, sorry. They resigned. Maybe they had a knock at the door or something. Would have liked to see how we're going to play on there. Computer says d5. This would be bad, because my king is in the center still. Yeah, that's a little scary to face for white, or for black, because my king is still in the center. Oh, now it's changed its mind, by the way. This is a little bit uncomfortable. What happens if castles? Lose a pawn, so we protect the pawn. We lost the pawn anyway. So white's up a pawn. And they have the bishop pair. This pawn might be annoying or a liability. I'm leaning towards liability. So normally c5 is not played here. Normally bishop e7, knight c6. Not sure if I can remember that. I feel like I haven't had the white piece as much. Is that? Yeah, I had the black pieces three times and the white pieces once. And when I had the white pieces, there was no... I haven't run into the pin yet. So this was a little weird to me, they block in their bishop like this. Oh. None other than FIDE Master P. Chernomordic. Okay. I'll get a little... I'll receive a little chess lesson here. So they're going for this fianchetto variation. Sort of King's Indian kind of setup. So I suspect... I suspect that this gives me a space advantage, but they're going to tear it to shreds. However, I've accomplished D5. They're a little cramped in terms of space. Because if... Is this a tactic? Am I gaining material here? I'm up the exchange against FIDE Master. Holy crap. Holy bananas. Expecting not here because it would be hanging. I don't have infinite time, as we all know. Seems like a decent square for the queen, maybe? This queen is a nuisance. All his pieces are nuisances, I must say. Except for that rook's not so bad. Maybe here. I'm really glad that I made this rook move. I thought that was... I felt like a grandmaster when I did that. Here, maybe? Well, they gotta worry about me kicking the knight and taking the bishop, so... Do have to worry about it a bit. I think here, yeah. A little bit of a dubious move by me. I like dubious moves. And... I will take it. Do we do this as the question? Probably not. Free pawn? Not really free. Takes. Or with a queen. Expecting it. Another pawn on pre, huh? Should we harass the queen? I might regret it, but... Let's try to gain some time harassing the queen. I think exchanges favor me. Ah, they're hoping to do this. Sneaky Batar. One minute on my clock. Gotta be careful. I see what they're doing. Just because it's very hard to defend against two bishops. The bishops against the rooks are very... It's kind of a problem. It's hard. Takes. What happened? Leechess, don't do this to me right now. Don't do this to me, Leechess. That's annoying. They're annoying. Pinning it so I can't take. Praying to do something. I still can't take there. I didn't even see it. FIDE Master got me. I was winning in the opening. GG. Cherno Mordic. Got your number, son. They didn't see the tactic. And big blunder was here. Big mistake. This was better. What if they just take the pawn? Let's start it. I'm proud. I got a tactic in against a FIDE Master. We're investigating this line. And, was it just here? I did this last time. FIDE Master likes over here and fianchetto and all that jazz. This is tricky. Let's do this again. Though against a much stronger opponent, I would probably just put the bishop here in castle. But this looks a little funky. I like it. I like a little jazz up in there. FIDE rating 2200. FIDE Master since 2002. So takes. Looks like it wins a pawn, except it falls into this problem. I don't want too much shenanigans. I'm gonna maybe try to castle. Change my mind. Now, do we go here? Do we take... A little dangerous. Do we take... There's a lot of options here. I'm going for this. If takes, I take back with the bishop. It's good for me. So we go here. They might take here. It's a little funky. Got ideas here. Got takes with check. I can take with check too, though. I think that's the way. Is that the way? Not too happy with this position. Materially even, though they're probably going to take this pawn, I'm guessing. They might. I think this is a better move. Kind of stopping me from castling right now, which is annoying. So I thought the move I did was a little... That c5 move, it's a little... I thought it was tricky, but it's a little dubious, eh? They figured it out. I don't like that move. Moving their queen again. I don't know. I guess it was a good move, actually. So they're threatening this. All kinds of shenanigans. Very annoying. Probably gonna lose. What about here? It's a lot of pressure. Under pressure. It's not good. I think this might be forced, maybe? Blocking, undeveloping my situation and blocking my rook. Not good. So might have these ideas. It's terrible. Everything sucks. Everything sucks, yo. Terrible. Well, I've learned something about that c5 move. This c5 move is a pain in the butt. I should have just taken to avoid all the shenanigans that I invited. That was pretty bad. And I'm lost. This was a little better. I didn't even consider that move. A little safer. Though I did not see any of this stuff either. Should have gotten castled first. And yeah, this move is very uncomfortable, I think. Seems that way to me anyway. D5. Scoring well for white. Uncomfortable. Now I felt some of that pain personally. So let's not do c5. And going back, instead of bishop g4, the main line is actually g6, which is how the FIDE master was playing, I think. Fianchetto variation. Richter variation. Should I try it once? I'm kind of familiar with these positions, so it's actually kind of boring for me. Looking for something spicier. Nonetheless, it might be worth playing. Oh, we should try it. The tournament's over. But we have another one. However, it's rapid. I'll probably start a new live stream. And I'm not even sure I'm going to play it, to be honest. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.